Oh wait, let me pause the copyrighted music before I get in trouble. As you can tell by the high vis I have on, I am currently at work on my lunch break. And I was sitting at work and I was thinking, I thought two thoughts. And one of the thoughts I was thinking of, because I've been seeing a lot of like warehouse videos on YouTube and shit. So like I was like, well, I currently work at a warehouse. I've been working here for like 7 or 8 months now. I'm gonna actually be transferring to a different department, so I won't be in the warehouse no more. But I know I haven't been there that long. But from my little bit of experience, I think I think I could share my experience working in a warehouse and maybe give out some like warehouse survival tips for those that that are looking to work in a warehouse or already working in a warehouse, and they kind of want to know some like little tidbits to help themselves get by. So I drive a forklift primarily. That's what I do. I will be working on machinery soon. That's my new position that I'm switching over to a different department. But for the next 2 weeks, I still drive forklifts. Basic shit, pick up a pallet, put the pallet in a trailer. Sometimes you might have to unstack the pallet, go drive, pick things up and put it down is basically what I do all fucking day for 12 hours. For 4 days, 12-hour shifts. So that alone right there, if you're gonna work at a warehouse, it is actually very physically demanding, believe it or not. I wouldn't say like, depending on your physical condition already, like how, if you're out of shape, you're gonna have a really tough fucking time working in a warehouse, because you're gonna be doing, even on a forklift, like, being on your feet all day. I'm used to it. I drive a stand-up forklift at that. And I'm kind of used to being on I got a notification on my phone. I'm kind of used to being on my feet for, long, extended periods of time, because I used to be a dealer at the casino. And I don't know if you guys know, but dealers stand all night and all day. Even if there's no one at the table, we can't sit down. We have to stand up. So I'm already kind of used to just standing up and being on my feet all day. But like, if you're out of shape, just being up on your feet all day is going to make you really fucking tired. Then not to mention, you're constantly picking up heavy shit, and putting it down, not even with just the forklift, but with, using your body. And, you might be like running back and forth. And I know at my job, and I think Amazon does the same thing. I think a lot of warehouse jobs actually have this. I didn't know because, like I said, I don't know if I said it already, but this was my first warehouse job. There's like a labor management system at my job. And like I said, I know Amazon has it. And like, if you aren't, like, there's basically like a standard that you have to meet every day. And they keep in track of your performance via like the computer systems. And, if you're not doing a good job, after a couple of days, if you keep fucking up and shit, like, you're in the red all the time, eventually they're gonna, they're gonna talk to you, give you like, ask you why you're not doing good. And then if it keeps escalating, you'll get a write-up and eventually you'll be laid off. So like, definitely make sure you're already in like some sort of physical, like fit condition. If you're not yet and you're about to start working at a warehouse, I'd definitely start by, jogging outside, going for walks, maybe late weightlifting, anything from like maybe 20 to 30, 40 pounds, even if you can, per dumbbell. Just very light exercises. Even if you can't, like, you have to, because it's very physically fucking demanding, especially if you're banging out 12-hour shifts like I do, then you're going to be fucking tired. Second, make sure you get a lot of rest. That's very important. There's been a couple days where I went to work, banged out a 12-hour shift with only 30 minutes of sleep. Given I was in a pretty rough mental state of mind at that time, but I've done it before, an hour, 2 hours, but the lowest I've ever, least amount I've ever gone was 30 minutes at most, literally, and went straight to work for a 12-hour shift. I don't really recommend that all the time. I can kind of get away with it a couple times because I'm young, but even then, like, you can't make up for missed sleep with more sleep. That's not how sleep works. So I definitely advise just trying to make sure you get at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep. I would say 8, but it's kind of hard to try to get 8 hours worth of sleep when you work a 12-hour shift already. So like, there's only 24 hours in a day, and 12 hours of that is already guaranteed you're going to be at work. Not to mention the time it takes to get to work or the time it takes to get back home from work. So like, realistically, after working a 12-hour shift, realistically, you only have like, let's say, give or take 10 hours or so, maybe 9.5 hours to kind of like take a shower, cook, spend time with your family, or any like side hustles or any passion project that you have outside of work until, you have your day off. So make sure you get a lot of sleep, eat, make sure you pack a lunch. You don't want to be the guy that doesn't have fucking lunch. because then you're going to just be hungry and mopey and pissy all fucking day. So make sure you eat. Bring 2 lunches. I would say bring 2. One sometimes isn't good enough. And I don't know if your job has it, but we have a cafeteria at my job and it's fucking expensive. So I don't want to give them the money. I don't want to work for an hour and then that same hour worth of work only gets me 2 snacks in the cafeteria. Like, that's just not, that's how I usually do break shit down when I buy it. I'm like, oh, this is $100. That's 4 hours worth of work for me. Like, do I really, do I really think this is worth 4 hours worth of me working at work? So that's how I kind of, break shit down in my head and justify like my purchases. So just make sure you bring lunches, you sleep, get a lot of sleep. Make sure, like I said, you're fit. When it comes to like with, your coworkers, I would say just try to keep everything cordial. I always hear people say, oh, stick to yourself. Don't say nothing. Just go to work and don't. I think that actually creates more problems than actually speaking to some of your coworkers. Cause like one thing that one of my coworkers told me is that, it's interesting because it's true. People are afraid of what they don't know. So if you go to work and you're always that mysterious fucking character that doesn't speak to anyone, and like you're always straight faced, you're quiet, you keep to yourself, that's fine. I don't really mind people like that. I understand. I used to be like that when I was at the casino sometimes too. Like you don't really want to get out of your shell. You're just here to get your paycheck. You work your hours, you might talk a little bit, and that's it. That's fine. Me, I have no problem with people like that. More power to you. But there are people out there that, they're afraid of those types of people because they haven't actually spoke to them and got to know them yet. So then that might actually trigger them to not like you. And you actually never even gave them a reason to not like you. And the only reason why they don't like you is because you don't interact with everyone. So realistically, I mean, if you're the type of person that's very quiet and you stay to yourself, you could go for it and do that. I think realistically, it kind of helps trying to at least, you don't have to sit here and be buddy best friends with all your fucking coworkers. But like I said, keeping things cordial and, maybe having decent conversations every now and then, again, doesn't have to be every day, doesn't have to be every 30 minutes, every hour, but just like, letting some of your personality show a little bit at work. You're still going to have people that envy that, there's still going to be haters out there no matter what you do. But I think it makes it, because it helps build allies. And that's another thing that's important in a lot of warehouse jobs too, is that it's very toxic. And there's going to be a lot more people that actually don't like you versus the people there that actually do like you. So what you want to do is realistically, you want to, make allies. You want to make friends, other coworkers that are out there on the floor with you, people in offices, if you have an office connection to your warehouse, people, your managers, any higher ups. You want to try to get cool with people, because at the end of the day, you never know when the people that don't like you are trying to, gang up on you and use their power of, more than one person to try to kind of get you. Phone just died, so I have to try to remember picking up where I left off. I mean, I ran out of storage, so I cut the video off. I was saying about, making allies, stuff like that. Yeah, because it's important. You never know when people are going to want to gang up on you to try to get you fired or fucked over or screwed over. So it's good to just have people there at your job that do like you, that can kind of stick up for you. The more people in higher positions that you have that are on your side, the better it is for you and your job security. Another thing too, I would say realistically, have a goal or some sort of ambition in the back of your mind, especially if you're young. I would say, like, because I'm 23, I still have a lot of life ahead of me. I hope I don't have my time clock on my fucking wrist, so I don't know how much I have left on this planet, but I like to assume that I am here for at least another maybe 50 years guaranteed. So like, I think it's definitely important to keep in mind of some sort of goal, ambition, or a passion that you have that you can kind of build towards when you're not at work to kind of get you out of that place. Because realistically, I don't know about anyone watching this, but I don't want to work at a warehouse much longer than I don't have to. Hence why I'm transferring to a different department. But realistically, I don't even really want to work a traditional job. I have other ambitions and passions that I want to pursue. And, I'm taking the steps to achieve those things. And I think that's another thing that's important to help people get through every day. And, because if you have something to look forward to when you get out of work, the more the merrier. For those of you that are, content with staying in that, you like the job that you're at and, you fuck with it, I would definitely say get involved. If they have safety teams, join the safety team, first responders, Anything that can get you more involved with the workflow and the environment of the workplace is important, because if you're going to be there for, you're going to be there for some time, hell, if that's going to be your career from that point forward, you might as well become more involved and get to know everyone, and just do more things around your job, because that'll kind of help it. Damn, I really had to switch to a whole new phone because it won't charge. Like, I mean, it won't record because I guess I really used up all my space. That's ridiculous. Yeah, but just getting involved, that's very important. You get more, it reduces that feeling of like, oh, I gotta go to work again. Like, I mean, you're still probably gonna feel like that because we're humans at the end of the day. We hate shit like that. But it kind of helps when and you get there and you're more involved. You get more involved in your workplace. That actually makes your mood. I feel like it lightens the mood about going to work. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you are what you make. If you're the person that's always depressed, always pissy, complaining, you're knocking others down in terms of like if they're confident and you're just trying to sap their confidence from them, or you're just a dickhead, or you're just not a pleasant person to be around, you carry that energy with you from job to fucking job, warehouses can be very toxic, especially, like the people there. But if you're not a very toxic person, the toxicity isn't going to really get to you. So you really got to make sure your mental and your spiritual game is on point, because it's a draining place. I mean, you're enclosed in a building for 12 hours a day. You barely get any sunlight. So that already right there is going to make you depressed, because you're not getting any sunlight. It's dark, it's dusty, it may stink a little bit. So like, it's not the best, but you definitely have to make sure you believe it. If I even said it, this phone fucking died. So I'm recording this on my actual phone. But yeah, having a strong mental is very important. Oh, for the guys, the girls there, me personally, I don't do relationships at the workplace. I think that's very unethical, and it could get you into a lot of like shit too. Especially, only time I would say it's okay, I still don't personally do it, is if it's a job that you're not going to be at for a while. Like if it's a little part-time or seasonal gig and you're like, all right, you can holler at some of the girls there, spit some game, sleep with a couple of your female coworkers. That's fine. But if you are trying to make a career out of it, or you're going to be there for a little while, I highly advise against messing around with any of your coworkers, like especially women coworkers, because like if anything happens and you got things don't work out well, you're still gonna have to see that person every day. Or if shit gets really bad, they can go to HR and fuck up your livelihood. Your job's at stake. So I really don't think it's worth it. But who am I to say? I don't mess around with the girls at my warehouse. I'll talk to them, but I won't like flirt or try to like hook up with them. I don't know. Like I said, I just think it's pretty unethical. It's not really me. I was never really like that, but I don't know. I'm just saying, but don't get me wrong. A lot of the warehouse girls, some of them can be cute and some of them can be known throat goats, as I've heard, but you just got to be careful what you're doing, man. If you want to, stick the tip in and do some shit, go for it, but just make sure you're ready to face any repercussions or consequences from your actions, because every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So yeah, when it comes to relationships in the workplace, warehouse, I advise against it. But hey, at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do. And I think I might have touched up on everything. And just like, I think if I had to pick 3 main ones that are like real serious about like, that I think that are super important, is literally, obviously like the sleep and the eating is basic. It's the no relationships, making sure your spiritual and your mental game is on point. And 3 is just having an ambition or dream outside of that place. Or even if it's that, or even in that place, a position you want to get to, something that can give you motivation to, stay consistent and work hard, because that's very important. I think, I'm pretty sure that's it. I got to actually drive back because my lunch break's about to end. I know you see that book back there, 48 Laws of Power. This is a really good book. I heard this technically does not count as a book, even though it's a book, because it's super basic. I think if I don't know. That's another fucking video for a whole nother subject. Hope I help some of you guys out there. I know, like I said, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about, working in warehouses. And I figured since I'm actually leaving the warehouse I'm working at, I could throw out a couple things that helped me along the way. So yeah, no, deuces.